Hi, everybody. Alida Zweidler-McKay with ZM Coach, where we're all about helping you move up in your career, whether that's taking a promotion in your current organization or finding a new job somewhere else. So today I want to talk to you about one of my sort of pet peeves in the world, and that is as a sociology someone with a sociology degree, one of the things that's been hard for me to watch in the world is the rise of individual psychology. Not that I think there's anything wrong with individual psychology, it's a very useful study. But one of the things that psychology can sometimes miss is the power of our environment on our behavior. And I don't just mean like our, desk and chair and that kind of thing, but I mean really the system of people around us and the human systems in which we're operating. And one of the places where this shows up is obviously at work. One of the systems that we operate in a workplace is a hierarchy. And hierarchies are extremely important for the functioning of organizations. They help us divide work into, sort of people who are holding the big picture thinking at the top of the hierarchy, and the people who are managing the details and the specifics at the lower end of the hierarchy. And being able to organize work in that way is extremely useful and valuable. And I'm not here to say that we should be doing something different about that. But what's challenging about hierarchy is that as human beings, we are sort of wired to be paying attention to where we land in relation to other people, kind of in a pecking order. And the fact of that and the reactions that we have to that are something that can come into play in a lot of different kinds of work situations. The way that we respond to the hierarchy, the way we respond to somebody who's in a position higher up than us, the way we respond to people who are in positions lower down than us. And I'm using that language higher up and lower down on purpose because it is the construct that's in our mind about hierarchy and that tends to affect our behavior. Now, one of the places where hierarchy tends to really play out is in job interviews and performance reviews. That is one of the contexts where the sense of hierarchy is really emphasized, right? There's the company doing the hiring that is sort of the one up has the power, and the person applying for the job kind of one down less power. There's the person giving the performance review and making the assessment about someone's performance, and the person receiving that who's being evaluated or rated or judged, or however you think about it. So that context is actually set up in such a way that it is bound to evoke an emotional response in us. And usually it's an emotional response that has some experience in it of being a little bit one down. And we might express that one down by feeling less confident or less assured, or we might express it by becoming overly talkative or a little bit defiant. But either way, we're in reaction to that relationship in the hierarchy. And it's that reaction and the behaviors that those reactions tend to trigger that can really get in the way when we're in a performance review or we're in an interview. So today I want to talk to you about that, the way that that particular hierarchy situation of a job interview or performance review can cause you to kind of feel one down and to go to a place where you're less confident. It makes sense given the hierarchy and given the importance of a job interview or a performance review that you're going to feel nervous in that situation. And if we only look at it from a personal psychology point of view, you might take that nervousness personally. You might think of it as something that's wrong with you. I always get nervous at job interviews. I'm not a confident person. I'm someone who feels anxious when I'm having to present myself. Now, those things may all be true, but the personal explanation that makes it about you doesn't take into account the fact that you are in a context that's set up to have you feel that way. When, on the other hand, you can sort of see that, then you're less likely to take that so personally and get so caught up in it. Now, this is especially challenging if you're someone who's had any kind of history of a less than perfect outcome. So if you've ever had a job interview that didn't result in you getting a job, or you've had a performance review that wasn't quite as stellar as you wanted it to be, or you were up for a promotion that you thought you should get, and then you got the news that you didn't get the promotion. any one of those experiences can linger and can come back up for you when you're facing that situation again, when you're back in that same context. So your mind is going to go back to those times that things didn't go well, and that's going to add to the nervousness, right? So here you have the general nervousness and sense of one down that comes from being in the context. And then your mind piles on it with a story about, well, that's who I am. I always get nervous in these situations. And then your mind piles onto it even more with evidence that that's true because that's what happened the last time or the time before that or the time before that. And all of that, kind of creeps in and sort of keeps you from doing the best you can in that situation, right? So those feelings of nervousness, the racing mind, the racing heart cause you to choke. And either your mind goes blank and you become unsure of what to say and, silent or stumbling over your words, or you do the opposite and you get really rambly and you move really fast and you're trying to make everybody happy. And, you're doing this kind of dance, monkey dance sort of version of being in an interview. But either way, it's going to be less likely that you're going to be the one who gets the job or gets the promotion that you wanted. Because either way, that lack of confidence, that nervousness is going to shine through and it's going to get in the way of coming across with the executive presence and the gravitas that you are going to need to take up a role at a more senior level, to get that promotion, to get that next job. So here's what you need to counteract that. You need a clear strategy that can help you avoid that kind of ramp up of nervousness. You need a perspective that really helps you understand the power dynamics that we're talking about. You need a theory that helps you see what those context-related cues are and how those can have an impact on you or anybody else in them so that you can take that experience less personally. You need specific tools and strategies that will help you direct your attention and your thoughts in the moment and in your preparations for it so that you walk into the interview thinking about it in a different way and participating in it in a different way where you really have the opportunity to shine with that solid, grounded executive presence that lets people know that you're ready for this next level, this next challenge. And finally, you need some real strategies around, seeing that performance review or that interview as a partnership and what it means to think about it in terms of a partnership and how you can show up in partnership with the person who's doing the hiring or making the decision about the promotion so that you can be sure that whatever that next role is a good fit for you just as much as they're making sure it's the right role, that you're the right person for their role. So all of that, when you've got that perspective, you've got that sense of partnership, and you've got those strategies for, kind of that executive presence is going to really set you up to come across as someone who's not only ready for the next role, but absolutely the right choice, the obvious choice for that position because you've done your homework, you're ready. All the stuff you did to prepare isn't getting washed out in a wave of nervousness or imposter syndrome or rambling, but it's really coming through loud and clear and solid and confident. That's exactly what we help our clients do. And if you're in a situation where you're hoping to move up in your current company or you're looking for a new job somewhere else, my team and I would be absolutely delighted to help you build that perspective, that presence, that sense of partnership, to really bring a sense of purpose and performance to your job interviews, to your performance reviews, to your career so that you can show up in every situation where you need to with that sense of solidity and gravitas that's going to have people look at you and say, you are the right person to be leading this organization right now, or leading this team, or leading this division. If this is of interest to you, if we can support you, again, whether that's moving up in your current organization, stepping into a new role and doing that effectively, or finding a new job somewhere else, we'd love to do that. Reach out to us at zmcoach.com/apply and set up a time to talk with us. There is still plenty of time before the end of the year to get yourself started on a new trajectory in the new year. So go ahead and reach out and let's have a conversation and get you started toward that next chapter of your career. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.